Hey everyone, this is Scott from the Scott to Row Podcast. Welcome to our Star Trek Discovery Season 2, Episode 7 Thoughts video. Just finished watching this episode where we see Burnham goes to Vulcan in search of Spock, where she unearths surprising family secrets. In researching what's left of the Red Angel signal, Pike and Tyler end up in a battle with time itself. So yeah, I just finished watching this episode, and I like this episode because we get some cool sci-fi stuff in it, meaning a time rift. That's right, the team gets stuck in a time rift. Not the whole team, just Pike and Tyler end up in a time rift, which I thought was an interesting kind of addition into this thing. I'm not normally a big fan of time travel stuff, but I like when it's a little bit more like this, where it's a little bit, time just being messed with as opposed to time travel, even though there's people from the future traveling to mess with them. I guess that is time travel. My point is, I prefer when it's a little bit more having to do with just these time anomalies that they're dealing with, as opposed to them trying to jump around in time, or them investigating somebody who's jumping around in time as opposed to them themselves and being involved in that. But yeah, I really enjoyed that element being added to. I thought the time rift looked really freaking cool. I thought they did a really great job. I also enjoyed that Burnham goes to Vulcan and that we see a lot more Vulcan. I don't know if my Star Trek knowledge is just very lacking, but I don't remember seeing a whole lot of Vulcan before this point in any Star Trek really. In the new Star Trek movies, it gets blown up almost right away, so we don't get to see it that much. So it was interesting to see a little bit more of it, see some of the architecture and the aesthetic of it, and I enjoyed getting that a little bit more. We also get a little bit more into Spock's family's backstory, Burnham's family's backstory, all of them. Apparently Spock had a learning disability growing up, or has a learning disability that he's had to overcome, which is interesting character development for him. I'm curious to see how they play out that throughout this season. But we did finally get Spock in this episode, even though he's a little off his rocker. It's the nicest way to put it. But we finally got him. 7 episodes in this season, they finally find him, and he was on his home planet the whole time, apparently. Or for the most part, he's been on his home planet. No one thought to look on Vulcan? So that was an interesting part. What else do I have? At one point we see Burnham and Georgiou getting in a fight. Georgiou actually helps Burnham at one point, telling her that Section 31 is about to extract the memories out of Spock's brain as opposed to just trying to retrieve them. And that, so Georgiou helps Burnham to escape, and by them fighting, and I like that just because it was such a cool fight. Even though it wasn't didn't have any stakes to it, they still had to fight each other, and that was fun. Yeah, I just like seeing the Section 31 ship a little bit more. I like that they're the kind of black ops CIA part of the of Starfleet, and that we're getting a lot more of them in this season than we really have ever before. But yeah, so those are the elements of this episode that I really enjoyed. Sure, let me know in the comments below what parts about this episode you liked or maybe didn't like. I was curious to hear about that. Thanks again for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have a good one.